Happy Monday, everyone. This is Closet Thoughts with Brihat. I had some thoughts I wanted to share today on humility. I was thinking about this question because I was reading recently in the Srimad Bhagavatam about analyzing truth and understanding what is the nature of ourself, what's the nature of this world. And I was thinking that everyone is always asking questions. We all operate our life, we guide our life through the questions that we ask. And so it's imperative that we consider what kind of questions are we asking ourselves on a regular basis. So many people now are probably wondering, am I going to get sick with this coronavirus? Will my family members survive? Are they going to be okay? Will I have enough food? Will I be able to resume my job when this is over? So these are some of the anxiety-driven thoughts that most of the world is probably considering right now. And these are different from the day-to-day thoughts we usually have, but still there's a lot of general anxiety in life, and these are running our thoughts and questions. And so what I'm hoping is that we can start to consider different questions during this time when we have a little more free time, and learn a little bit so we can be more resilient to anxiety and fear in the future, and understand the natural happiness that it belongs to us, that is our birthright. And so I wanted to talk about who to ask questions to and how to ask questions. So of course, what kind of questions we're asking is very important, but then the question arises, who should we ask questions to and how should we ask these questions? But first, we need to discuss the idea of finding knowledge. So there are two primary ways of understanding truth, finding knowledge in the world, and they are described simply as the ascending process and the descending process of gathering knowledge. And so the ascending process is the process generally that scientists will use in this world. You start with a set of assumptions. For example, this world is made of material energy and was created at some point in time and will be destroyed at some point in time, and there are certain natural laws that govern it, and from there we can start to build a greater philosophy. And the challenge with this method of finding truth is that there are four primary defects in human beings, and they are imperfect senses. All of our senses, although they have some power to gather knowledge, they are imperfect. The second one is the cheating propensity, which doesn't need much explaining. We all understand the cheating which lies within many people in this world. Even politicians, world leaders have this tendency to try to deceive others for their own selfish benefit. Another defect of humans is falling into illusions, and we've all seen some of these books with optical illusions, or for example, just the basic idea of looking up at the sun. It looks like a tiny little disk in the sky, but in reality it's a massive globe of energy. And so our senses clearly don't perceive reality exactly as it is. And the final defect is mistakes, is that we are constantly making mistakes. To err is human, it's said. And so if we're trying to understand the truth with these limited senses, with these propensities to cheat and mistakes and falling into illusion, then we're going to have a lot of difficulty. And if it's all on us to build up theories from the ground level, it's going to take a long time and a lot of effort. And so that's why an intelligent person might consider the descending process of knowledge. And this is the process where basically you approach somebody who knows. And so this is the process we use in universities, right? You don't just try to study on your own. Some people might try to study online, but the primary way that people do is that they will approach a university they trust and find qualified professors, and they'll simply ask them questions. And in that way they receive knowledge. And it's very quick, very easy. And the only thing we need to consider is, who are we asking these questions to? This is the critically important question that arises. So this is what I began this sidetrack with. So let's assume we're using the descending process of knowledge. Then the question arises, who do we ask these questions to? Well, we need to ask somebody who is an authority on truth, on understanding the nature of this world and who we are. And Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita this kind of person is called Tattva Darshana, or one who has seen the truth. And so this might be kind of challenging to understand quickly. So it's recommended that we spend some time kind of observing somebody and understanding, do they have characteristics of somebody who is Tattva Darshana, of someone who has seen the truth? And there are specific descriptions of what this kind of person is. It's described that if one wants to look for gold, then we need to understand what is gold, first of all, right? Otherwise, you'll get cheated. Again, that's another one of the propensities of human beings, is to cheat others. So we might get some fool's gold. But if we really want gold, if we're very serious, then we first study what is gold. So in the same way, if we want to understand the truth of ourself, the truth about God, the absolute truth, then we need to understand what is a real guru or spiritual teacher. And Krishna gives elaborate descriptions in the Bhagavad Gita, and so we can find there and kind of understand in this way. And we need somebody in this category, someone who has already crossed the boat or crossed the ocean of material life and gotten through all of the suffering and reached this platform of self-realization, of complete enlightenment. Because the analogy is given that a bound man cannot help another bound man. If two people are tied up with ropes, then neither of them can help each other at all. And that's basically our situation in this world. We're trying to solve problems, but we're all bound up by our minds. We're bound up by illusions, bound up by mistake-making and cheating propensities, false gurus, false prophets. And so we need to really understand what is a real guru. And only someone who is not bound up can help untie one who is bound. And so this is essentially important if we want to understand the most important things in life. Understanding who am I, who is God, what is my relationship with God, and how can I find complete happiness through that relationship. And so this is the main kind of topic I wanted to discuss today, is humility and understanding how we can actually find real authoritative knowledge. And just as a quick caveat, I'm speaking with authority, but it's not my own authority. None of these ideas are made up. These are simply ideas that have been presented for thousands of years by spiritual masters and saints and sages before myself, passed down in a line of teachers. And so I'm simply just trying to present what they have said. So any authority or knowledge that I have is simply because I'm trying to transmit this knowledge. So I'm trying to understand it still. I'm not Tattva Darshan. I haven't seen the truth, but I am experiencing joy in this process. So I very much welcome questions. I hope anyone out there can help me to understand this process better and join me along this path, and we can do it together. So please ask me questions, leave a comment, and I would be happy to engage in some intellectual conversation. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward to talking with you all next time. Hare Krishna.